Hi there, welcome to the Gardens and Graveyard channel. My name is Charisma and today we're meeting in the studio and we're playing with seeds and seedlings. It's just that time of year. There's so many seeds to get started, so many seeds to take care of. Our greenhouse is bursting at the seams and we have seedlings to get out there. All of these are going to go out there. I just need to do a little bit of division and then we're going to plant some more seeds to go in the seed starting station. And we're going to bring annuals that are like tender perennials that are in the greenhouse out of the greenhouse so that we can have room for these. Anyways, it's just like a whole revolving door of seeds and seedlings right now. I was just telling Spencer the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. I feel kind of insane at this time of year when it's just like plant the seeds, get them in the greenhouse, plant the seeds, get them in the greenhouse, and it's just like I cannot wait for consistent warm weather that I can put all the seedlings in the ground outside and I can stop like babying everybody. I live on the Oregon coast in a zone 9A. It is late March and we are still planting seedlings. My last frost date was the last week of February, but on the Pacific Northwest, especially on the coast, we are super rainy. And if I put these little baby seedlings in the garden right now, they would drown and die. So I have to keep my seeds and seedlings protected for quite a while. Really, like Mother's Day is the like go to get in the garden, get everybody planted time. Certain things I could get out a little bit earlier, but really that is like, that's my date of, my trajectory of when I'm planting everything. Annuals, perennials, everything grown by seed is middle of May. So we've got a little ways to go. I want to give everybody enough room to grow as they hang out for the next few weeks. And so that's what I'm going to do here. And then I've got a bunch of little tiny cells filled with seedlings that need to get bumped up before they go out in the greenhouse. And then I have some seeds to sow. So it's a big day and I just want to get into it. So in this tray here, we have zinnias. We have Zinnia scabiosa and Zinnia binary giant mix. And all I want to do here is we have doubled up plants. We have 2 cells that did not have anything germinate. So I'm just going to take a couple of seedlings and pop them in here. And then let's just move this to the side for a second. I also want to do like, let's see, if I do a whole tray of these, well, let's just start. We're just going to start and see what happens because there's a lot to divide in here and I just want to make sure everybody is good to go. So I'm just going to carefully, I did not water these so that they would be really easy to divide. So I'm just going to carefully pull them apart like this. Nice root system. And pop them down in here. And there's this. Just add a little bit of soil back in this cell that we just emptied. And then I noticed in this container where I have marigold seeds, and you can see the true leaves where they're dissected. This is a zinnia that got snuck in there, and I don't know which one it is. So I'm just gonna pop it out. I'm gonna put it in this empty cell right here. And it could just be a little mystery, which is fine with me. All of my zinnias are getting planted in the same, well, no. They're getting planted in 2 different spaces, but they're all gonna just be mixed up. My plan is to just have a big mix of a bunch of different colors of zinnias. So I'm fine with that one mystery zinnia in there. All right, so then, so that's what these 2 trays are, the Binary Giant Mix. Then these should all be the Scabiosa. So what I want to do is count how many extras I have. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 18. So I have 18. So all right, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure these stay together. I'm going to fill 2 more 6-packs to put in this tray, and they can all just be the Scabiosa. So let's fill these up. This is just raised bed mix, because these are going to go right out into the greenhouse when we're done here today. Okay, don't need that much. All right, I do have a little cup of tea, feeling a little dry. It's probably all the heater action in the winter time. Kind of dries out my throat. All right, so I just like to use an iced teaspoon to gently pull my seedlings up out of their cells. So we'll just do this one so you can see what I'm doing. And they just pop out like this. Nice strong root system. We can separate the 2 seedlings like this. And then we're gonna just make a couple of holes in the soil. Pop the seedling in just like this. Press the soil down around it so that the stem is nice and strong. With the zinnias, look at that one. Pull a little bit more soil away. With the zinnias, I can actually bury the stem a little bit, so I can put the stem down below the soil line that it was originally in, a little bit shorter, and that actually would help it just be a little stronger. So after pressing that down, I have a little extra room for soil, so we're just gonna put some soil up around it. Nice strong stems. All right, we're gonna just go ahead and divide these up and get this done. Sometimes I could just gently tease one out. Just soil where it came out. That's pretty good. We're just gonna leave these like this. We're gonna water them in. I have fertilizer in this water. These have all been getting half strength fertilizer for about a week, maybe. This might be their third. No, I think this is the second feeding. So I just do half strength in the gallon, and until they're a little bit, you know, robust. There's plenty of food in here for them. I'm at half strength. Alright. So I want to make sure all the roots are watered in from the transplants. And I'll probably leave them in the house today. And then tomorrow we'll start taking them outside. Even though they're just going into the greenhouse is unheated. So I still like to do a little bit of a transition for like 3 days. So I'll take them in and out during the daytime. I'll put them in the greenhouse. At night I'll bring them in, and I'll do that for a few days, and then they'll just live out there. Some of these are still doubled up. I think that's okay. They are in 6-packs, so they do have a little bit of room to grow, and, you know, we'll just keep our eye on them. If I see one, like, really struggling, we can do some moving around. Let's move this out of the way. Oops. All right, then we have this little flat of marigolds, and we're missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seeds. So I just want to put the same seeds that we have in here. Of course, this one is missing because it was a zinnia, not a marigold. And the other ones just didn't come up, so the germination wasn't 100%, which is totally normal. So these are the Marigold Chica Flame. Just gonna grab these and see if we have more of them, hopefully. Queen Sophia. I don't know. Here they are. Oh. Okay. So I'm actually out of Chica Flame, and I have these Queen Sophias, which we have more of those in another flat that's coming up. They are similar, but they're not the same. I think the Queen Sophia is a little bit more open with a little less red. But they're all just going to be mixed and planted together. So I really don't mind that, you know, we have some mixed in the flats. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a couple in here. And let them come up. Okay. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and water these in. And yes, I'm going to use the fertilizer water, which the seeds can't uptake any fertilizer, but the rest of the plants will appreciate the fertilizer, and, you know, it's fine. It's only 5 cells. It's not a huge waste to put fertilizer on it. And because they're going into the greenhouse, I do want to top them off with a little bit of vermiculite. I tend to get a lot of mold in the greenhouse because it stays so moist. And the vermiculite tends to help a little bit anyway. It's not foolproof, but it does help. I don't know how that works exactly. Maybe the mold doesn't grow on it, because the vermiculite will also help retain moisture. Somehow it helps it not get moldy. Okay. All right, so then we're gonna grab the trays that need lots of dividing. That over there. Well, I should mention that the marigolds that we just did, I'll just put those straight outside into the greenhouse. Even though those couple of cells haven't come up yet, I could be technically planting marigold seeds in the garden at this point. So I just want to give them a little bit of a jump start, because I just want to make sure I have really good, robust plants out there. All right. All right. So we're going to start another flat here. And we may as well just start with these. Go right there. Great. And then we need more. I'm gonna do my unicorn mix first. I'm really sad because I let it dry out and I might have lost a few, so it's kind of a bummer. Alright, like I said, I'm going to start with the unicorn mix. This is from Floret, and these 18 plants are unicorn mix zinnias, and I just want to get them into individual cells. These are all in seed starter mix, so they're not retaining a lot of moisture. So I'm really hoping that by putting them in some regular potting soil, this is raised bed mix, they'll retain a little bit of moisture and we'll be able to have a little better success. Okay, so you can see what's happening. They're dried up, shriveled. We're just gonna hope for the best and get them in some regular soil. Hopefully, because they've got some pretty decent root systems on them. They didn't dry out like completely. They're just not perfect. So we're just gonna get on that and move with purpose. Not every one of them dried out. You can see this one is like still really beautiful. So I didn't lose them all, thank goodness. Alright, so that's the second time these ones have been fertilized. The first time these ones have been fertilized, because I have not been fertilizing this small tray yet. So, fantastic. We have 24 of the unicorns and 12 of the giant mix, and then the only unicorns that didn't make it was this one cell, and it had 3 seedlings come up. They maybe could be saved, but probably not, and I don't want to like start a new pack just for those 3 seedlings. And I put 2 pretty sad looking ones in this one cell together. The rest of them look pretty decent, so I have high hopes. I think it's gonna be okay. All right, so then we're gonna divide these up. I'm gonna move this out of the way. We'll fill up more 6-packs, and then we'll get these transferred over into 6-packs. So this is a homemade blend of tea, herbal tea that I made for anti-inflammatory, which I have a lot of candida issues with my body and tend to get inflamed easy. So I drink an anti-inflammatory tea pretty much every day. And I switch back and forth between this blend and another. But if you're interested in tea blends, most of my tea blends, I would say that like maybe 80% of the herbs that I use in the tea and the herbal blends that I make, I grow those herbs in my garden, and the rest of them are supplemented from Mountain Rose Herbs, which is a fantastic source for herbs if you're looking for a source for herbs. They're out of Eugene, Oregon, but they ship online. You know, you could go there online and order herbs in bulk. But if you're interested in tea blends and learning more about what kind of blends that I make and how to make them and how I use them, comment in the comments below this video and let me know if that's something that you're interested in learning about, because I would love to share that part of my garden journey with all of you. I always share growing the herbs, but I don't typically share how I make my tea blends and what's in each one and why, what, you know, herbal properties they have and all that stuff. So if that's something that's interesting to you, let me know and we'll start making some videos like that. All right, let's keep going with dividing these seedlings. These are Zinnia Whirligig. And yeah, we're just gonna start moving them up into bigger cells. These look pretty darn good. And I'm really loving that. I don't know if you could see, but the stem is red on these. Just like really fun. Okay. I'm just gonna move cell by cell and try to get, there's 2 of them in here. If you're new to my channel or you haven't been following along for a little while, I don't typically grow this many zinnias, but this year I wanted to line all of my herb garden with zinnias, calendula, and marigolds. So I'm growing an abundance of these 3 flowers in particular. And I just wanted it to be every year I choose a different theme for my garden. Last year we did pink lemonade, so all my flowers were pink and yellow. this year it's hot tropics because I just came back from Mexico, and our goal is to get to Hawaii this year. I don't know if we're gonna make it, but soon our next like big vacation is gonna be Hawaii. So hot tropical colors, bright pink, orange, red, yellows, that kind of thing. So I just wanted everything to be like a big mix. So it's kind of fun to just get all these seedlings and have them all mixed up and have them all different colors and textures. You can check out the playlist below, or just search for the playlist, and you could watch all of our seed starting. So I throw the specs of each seed that I'm growing up on the screen, or I talk you through it with pictures and all of that stuff. So if that's something you're interested in, like what does a whirligig zinnia look like, go check out those videos. And I also, give you a much more detail on like the growing medium and how I grow them and where I grow them and all that stuff. This one, really just trying to get through all of these, get them out of the house so that we can plant the next ones that we're going to be growing. These have all been under grow lights, so I want to probably keep them in the house for another couple of days, let their roots settle in, and then we will transition them out into the garden, or into the greenhouse. Garden. I want to just go straight into the garden. Soon. All right, then I know that these are all the Zinnia Queen line, and they didn't have great germination, so we'll see if I could get all 12. I don't know. Like this 6-pack only got one seedling. All right, now we have another flat of zinnias. I'm not going to water them in because I have these trays that have holes in them. And so I will wait until I grab a tray that either doesn't have holes in it, or I'll water them outside. All right, so then for these guys, because I've ran out of the 6-packs, I am going to, I'm just going to fill these squares up and put 4 plants in each square so that they, on each corner, and just let them grow together, and then we'll divide them when we put them out in the garden. There will be plenty of room in these big 6-packs, or 6-pack, these big 4-inch containers, because they're extra long. There's going to be plenty of room for them to grow until I need to get them out in the garden. It's not ideal, but it's what I've got, so there you go. so we've got those guys. I need to make another tag. Okay, Scabiosa. Okay, great. So we have one more flat of seedlings to go through before we can plant even more seeds. Now these guys are desperate to get out of these little things. You can see I probably lost quite a few right here. They're just not deep enough to support calendula and marigolds, and so now I know that, and next time if I plant them, or if I plant them by seed indoors, I'll make sure that I plant them in bigger cells, because my other marigolds did fantastic in just a 6-pack size. So I'm gonna get through these and I'll show you what we ended up with. I will quickly go through what we have here. We've got calendula pink surprise, calendula bronze, bronze beauty, calendula ivory, marigold queen Sophia, marigold Kilimanjaro, which is a white one, zinnia Oklahoma ivory, zinnia giants, zinnia thumbelina, and zinnia granny's bouquet. So zinnias on this side, marigolds, and calendula. So I'm just going to get them all potted up into something larger, and we'll see where we're at that point in time, and I'll just walk you all through it. But you get the idea. It's the same, just moving through all of these to ensure that they have plenty of room to grow for the next several weeks while we're still in the cooler temperatures and rainy weather. Again, I can bury these stems. Oh, that one's just so that they'll be a little stronger. Alright, so we've moved a bunch of plants around. I'll show you in the end all of it, but essentially I've moved a bunch of zinnias in like 9 per 4-inch container, or however many I had. Like the Thumbelina, there was only 2. And then because I just couldn't cull all of them, I just did 1 row of each variety that I had enough of back in here, and then we did trash a bunch. Now I just have these 4 rows that I'm going to plant these seeds in. We're going to do two rows of the purple alyssum, which we have already sown quite a bit of that. But I know that I'm going to love it and I want more of it. So I'm going to just I have hundreds of seeds. So I'm going to just do 2 rows of the alyssum and then 2 rows of the basket of gold. Oh, this is doing it backwards. Okay. Get them confused. This is the alyssum. This is the basket of gold. I'll do 2 rows of the basket of gold, which is Arenia saxatilis. Really sweet yellow flower. These do not want to be covered, so we'll just tap them in, and then these are also do not cover. So really quick and easy. I just want to make a couple labels, and then we need to go out to the greenhouse and make room for the zinnias and marigolds that we transplanted. And then I'll have some flats that have bottoms without holes that I could put these in, get them watered, and put them under the grow lights. Because you could see they're still very tiny. So I'm going to keep these inside for a little while longer. But they do have a little bit more room to grow and all of that kind of stuff. It's been a crazy year because I don't normally grow that many of like one type of variety, like hundreds of zinnias and hundreds of snapdragons and dozens of marigolds and dozens of calendula. So I've ran out of 6-packs. I'm out of room under my grow lights. Like everything is just like I'm not a nursery. I don't have like a production line. So all of this is just a little, it's a little tight. So anyway, let's get these seeds started. And then I'll go variety by variety of what we got done. And then we'll move some things around in the greenhouse, and we'll see if I have time today to plant some other things. I do need to get my sweet peas planted because they've already been soaking for 24 hours. So like I have to do that at some point today. All right, so this is purple alyssum. And yeah, this is the alyssum. So in this tray, I have one row of the Pink Surprise Calendula, and I did one of these tall containers of the Pink Surprise. It's on the floor. And then I've got one row of the Calendula Bronze Beauty, and I did a tall container of those, which have another 12 in them. So 18 of both of those. And then the Calendula Ivory. Oh, I do have, I have the 2, okay. The Calendula Ivory, I did 2 rows in the seed starting tray, but not a 4-inch container. And then the Marigold Kilimanjaro, there was only one seed that came up. So, obviously, I planted that one, and it was super tiny. So I just, okay, let's do this. I just put it right here, and then I seeded the rest of the row with more of the Kilimanjaro seeds in hopes that we could get some more started. I don't know. And then the Zinnia Oklahoma Ivory, also not great. I think I did do a whole thing of that. Okay. This one? Oh yeah, so I do have a 4-inch container of the Oklahoma Ivory, really tiny. They have not bulked up at all. So, But, you know, that's why I did 2 rows, or I seeded another row to make sure that I have as many as I want. And then the next row is the Zinnia Thumbelina, which I only had 2 come up. So I ended up putting those in this bigger container, and then I seeded another row of the Thumbelina just to see if they would come up. And then the next row is the Granny's Bouquet, which I do have 6 in this container. And then I seeded another row, heavily seeded because they just didn't come up very good. And then I have the Zinnia Giants. This is all that I had of the Giants. So they're all in one container here. Let me get this basket of gold seeded, and we'll look at what the other piece is. Okay. These are slightly larger than the alyssum, a little bit easier to see. Okay. All right, then we can water these guys in. I'm not using fertilizer on these yet. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at what else we got done, and then I'm going to get these under the grow lights. We're going to move things around in the greenhouse. I really feel like I should just get the sweet peas done. Maybe we'll do that. I have like 30 sweet peas to plant. So let's, I'm going to do 3 seeds per container. I'm going to be using the Proven Winners containers because they're nice and deep. And I'm just going to wait until they sprout up, and then we're going to put them right in the garden pretty quickly. Actually, don't even know if I need that big of containers. Maybe I just use these ones. Yeah, I think I'll just do that. Do I have 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, we'll just do this, just for the sake of having room. Just like I have no room. Okay, what's this? I just have 2 varieties, and one is from Johnny's Seed, and they are Spencer's Ice Cream, and they are a creamy white color. And then the other one are seeds that I saved from my garden, but they were originally these, which I can't pronounce. Beaujolais? I don't know. Beautiful dark purpley maroon color. And so my thought was I would just do as many as I can in this amount. I need, at minimum, I need 12 of the purple, but I'd like to do double that, right? And then I need like 5 to 8 of the white. So I'm going to start with the white, the Spencer's Ice Cream. They've been soaking in just plain water in these cute little dishes. And they just look like this. And I'm just going to pick the biggest ones to start with. Like this one, I don't know if I'll be able to show it, but it has cracked open, which tells me that we're probably gonna get a good seed out of that. Okay. And then, let's see, what did I say I needed? 8 to 10. So let's just do 4 in these tall containers. They'll be easy for me to remember which ones were which. Well, all right, so they need to be half an inch, quarter to half an inch deep. I ended up with 5 in each, or 6 in each one, which is, it's fine. These particular ones are 3 years old, so the germination might not be excellent anyway. So I'm just going to pop them down into the soil, cover them up. Now, sweet peas are not the same as garden peas. You do not eat these. These are ornamental only. They smell beautiful. They look really pretty in bouquets, but they are highly toxic. So be aware if you decide to grow them. All right. And, oh, I keep dropping this. Okay. Sweet pea. Alright, so I don't know how many of these I have. I don't know how good they are. I need 4, 8, 12, 4, 8, 12. Well, I'll just do 4 in every one of these and then call it good. I'm not going to try to over sow them. Sweet peas are a cool season flower, so I expect them to come up in the next week or so. As soon as they come up and have true leaves, I will put them in the garden. They are they're like viney, so you do want them to have something to grow up. Ideally, I don't know if anybody grows them as a ground cover. I'd love to know. They grow wild all over my hometown, and they grow like on hillsides, so they do just sort of ramble around like a ground cover. So I guess it's totally plausible to do. All right. So that's it. I do have some geraniums that I want to sow that need bottom heat and tomatoes that need bottom heat, but we'll do that in another video. Let's get these guys under grow lights, out in the garden, all the places. So I'm going to take a little break, and then we will move some things around. All right, so these are the 4-inch containers that we filled with beautiful things. Zinnia scabiosa, a couple of those. And then these are the ones we talked about just a minute ago. And then these are the Queen Sophia Miracles. And then we have the Pink Surprise Calendula and the Bronze Beauty Calendula. And then over here is where we've divided all of our zinnia, queen lime, and whirligigs. And then over there by the staircase, I've got all the ones that we just like barely divided, where there was just like empty holes and there was double seated. So we just kind of like, you know, took the extra one out of here and popped it over there, kind of a situation. And those are the marigolds. So lots and lots of flowers to come. All right, so we are heading into the greenhouse. It's a little windy out here, but essentially I need room for 4.5 seed trays. So we're gonna just kind of go through here and see what can be moved out. Maybe not planted in the garden, but just moved out of the greenhouse and stored outside of the greenhouse until I'm ready to plant them. So as you can see, we have many seedlings already taking up a lot of real estate in here. Look at these dahlias, aren't they gorgeous? Oh my gosh, they look so beautiful. I'm so excited. Ah! Anyway, all right, so I can move all of this outside. I can move this out, these two plants outside. I can move a lot of this outside. So what I want to do is, these are my double up begonias, and they look kind of ratty right now because it got cold, but you can see all the fresh new growth down there in the bottom. So when I plant them, hopefully you could see that. All these beautiful new leaves. So I'm going to leave the yucky looking stuff on top just to protect it a little bit. And then when I go to actually plant them, we'll cut down all of these old stems and leave this crown of beautiful new foliage, and they'll do fantastic. So what I want to do is move all of these begonias. So we've got this 2-gallon, 3 pints, and 4 what are those? Are those 2 gallons? 1 gallons? 1 gallon containers, and we'll move those all into the moon garden. Just I forgot to bring out a stand for my camera to sit on, but I want to get this done. So we're just gonna clear what we can out of this space, and then I'll show you what it looks like, and then we'll bring some plants outside. Okay, I've moved some things around. We've cleared this off, and I can put 3 trays long ways across this bench, and 1 here. I also have 5, 6, 7, 8 spaces that I can put this size container in. And then I ended up leaving my double up begonias in here, just because I've been babying them all winter long, and they are, you know, they are already getting hit with cold, and I really just don't want to completely lose them right before we're ready to plant. So I'm going to leave them in here for a little while longer, especially since I have room. I did end up moving the bacopa right here, which is very cold tolerant. It'll be fine. And my 2 super beanas, which, you know, if they make it, they make it. I think they will. I think they'll maybe not love being cold, but I mean, I guess I could actually put them right there. Maybe I'll do that. Just because when you've spent 6-8 months trying to keep these things alive, it's super hard to just be like, okay, now you're on your own. All right, so I'm gonna grab my sweet peas and bring those out right now. And then everything else is in the kitchen, chilling, letting their roots settle into their soil. And then we'll just slowly bring them in and out over the next few days. So let's grab the sweet peas and then we can wrap up. All right, nice and easy. We've got the 3 sweet peas here and the other 7 here. These are all the purple, these are the whites. And everything is tucked in here nice and warm. You could see the temperature in here is 57 degrees, but the humidity is 86. I don't know if you could see that. And the wind chill just makes everything a little bit colder. Everything's just stays really wet in the garden and in the greenhouse. So I just feel like I need to baby things along a little bit longer than maybe they need to be. I don't know. By the time the 2 flats that are underneath grow lights right now are ready to come out in the garden, it will definitely be ready, or the greenhouse will definitely be ready for 2 more flats, because I'm intending to plant all of the begonias, the Diachondra silverfalls, and the Dusty Miller and the alyssum in the next couple of weeks. So those flats plus the 1 more that I need to grow, which were geraniums and tomatoes, and they need bottom heat, so I want to make sure that there's a space for them underneath the grow lights before I get them started. But those 3 flats will need to come out here. By that time, I suspect that I'll be able to plant quite a lot of these things, and I need to look up the dahlias. I think those can start going in the garden pretty soon. The other thing that will be coming on this channel very quickly in the next week or so is pre-sprouting our dahlia tubers to see which ones are gonna grow for me this season, because I just kind of threw them all in a box and said whatever last fall, because I just was like, just needed a break from dahlias. But I love them so much and I want to put them back in the garden. I'm gonna have lots of them this year. So anyway, we need to pre-sprout our dahlias, and that will be a whole thing, and I'll do a video on that. But yeah, it's getting so close. And then of course we'll pick up our annuals, which is usually around 4 or 5 flats of proven winter annuals. So who knows where those are gonna go with this massive seedling production or these seed production that I've been doing this year. Like, every year I tell myself I'm not gonna grow as many seeds this year, and then I grow like twice as many. So such is life in the garden. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you're celebrating your life, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.